A pastor spent his whole life fearing Muslims until one sentence exposed the lie behind his faith. Pastor Hale had preached in that quiet little town for 20 years, and nothing ever disturbed his sleep until the night the new neighbors moved in. He woke to the sound of whispers drifting through his window. In the backyard next door, a group of people stood praying in Arabic, Allahu Akbar. The words made his skin crawl. He didn't know what they meant, only what he'd been taught to fear. That Sunday, fear turned into poison. He stood at the pulpit and warned his congregation about the hateful Muslim God, a violent God, the God of his new neighbors. But the town had been listening. Days later, a car swerved down their street. A scream, a thud. Pastor Hale ran outside. His neighbor and their young daughter lay bleeding in the middle of the road, victims of a hit and run. He knelt beside them, shaking, calling an ambulance. And through the blood and panic, he heard it again. Ya Allah, please protect my daughter. Even the little girl whispered it. Oh Allah, help me. But this time, the name didn't sound violent. It sounded human, terrified, desperate, just like the prayers he once cried for his own sick son. At the hospital, the young man arrived in tears. He grabbed Pastor Hale's hands and whispered, "Thank you, thank you." And Hale felt something he hadn't felt in years. Guilt. That night, he finally searched the question, who is Allah? What he found shattered him. Muslims love Jesus. They honor Mary, the Blessed Mother, more than many Christians do. They believe in his miraculous birth and that he will return at the end of times. And Allah is simply the Arabic word for God. A wave of shame washed over him. Christians and Muslims had more in common than he ever knew. The next week, Pastor Hale was invited to speak at a political convention. Before he walked on stage, the host slapped him on the back and said, "Good sermon last week. Keep the heat on the Muslims. Fear keeps the base energized." And in that moment, everything became clear. He wasn't preaching God's message. He was preaching theirs. For money, for influence, for manipulation. He had become a puppet. Later that night, he returned to the hospital. He found the young man in the cafe, exhausted but praying softly. And for the first time, Hale didn't see an enemy. He saw a father. He saw a husband. He saw a person of faith. And Pastor Hale realized hatred had been dressed as faith to keep him and the masses terrified of a truth he was never meant to discover.